everybody, I am Jackie, one of the designers here with Unique in the Creek, and today we're going to make a super fun snowman wreath attachment. Alright, so let's talk about what we're going to need. We're going to need some pipe cleaners. We're going to use a check mesh. We're going to use a big bow, and we're going to use this big bow instead of a sign. Alright, now this is a 4-piece snowman attachment. It comes with the arms, bottoms, and head. Alright, and of course with a snowman, we're going to need some snowflakes. Alright, we're going to use some ornament balls. We're going to use flex tube. And then we have some wintry picks to complement our snowman. The tools that you are going to need, you're going to need a pair of scissors, wire cutters. Now this is a darning needle. I use the darning needle to grab the pipe cleaners to pull them through the board, as you will see later. And the last thing that you're going to need is a hot glue gun. All right. Come on back and let's get started. Alright, as you can see, I have already started and I'm halfway done. So let me show you how to load the board. You're going to need a total of 16 pipe cleaners. And what I do is I take 4 at a time, kind of fold them in half, like that, get them ready to load. What you want to do when you load your board, you want to make sure that your out row pipe cleaner on the outer row, you're putting it across from the one hole. See how there's 2 here, 1 here? That's where you want to put your pipe cleaners on the outside row. Then you'll go every other. Like so. And then on the inside row, you'll go between that's going to be a total of 16 pipe cleaners all the way around the board. Now after you're done loading, if you just make a quick flip and put your board down, all your pipe cleaners will stay in place. And then you're just going to twist them to secure them into the board and they won't move. All right, now that we got our pipe cleaners ready, we're going to work on the outside row with our mesh. Our mesh is cut 20 inches long. With the curl side up, we're going to ruffle it. You're just going to roll it down one time, and that's so it won't fray. And then just ruffle along. Then grab that and fold it down, pull it in, and place it in your tie. And I take my thumb and I push down on my mesh. That way I can tie it tighter. I just kind of smash it down in there. So you just want to roll that up Ruffle, ruffle, ruffle. And once you get to the end, you're just going to kind of roll that a little bit too. Place it in your tie. Like I said, take your thumb. I take my thumb and I push it down. Tie it in. And of course, if you're more familiar with doing this with zip ties, you can use zip ties. Find that it is best when you are things to just what you're comfortable with. People are more comfortable with pipe cleaners. Some people are more comfortable with zip ties. Either way, it doesn't matter. Now, even though our wreath attachment is going to take up a lot of the board and the center of the board, we need the cushion of the mesh. So that's why we're putting it in the center. So it's going to take 16 pipe cleaners, 16 pieces of mesh cut 20 inches long. Two more pieces of mesh, and then we're going to put our wreath attachment. Okay, now that we got our mesh on, let's put our wreath attachment on and our bow. We're going to start by adding the bottom of this guy, but we're going to take these wires off. I have found over the years that these wires are pretty difficult to deal with, so we're just not going to deal with them. We're going to cut them off. And in their place, we are going to put pipe cleaners. And we're going to do that with a little bit of hot glue. So you'll be able to see the holes where your wire came out of on these, and that's just what we're going to use to put our pipe cleaner. We're going to go right back through those holes. If you have a difficult time doing that, just grab a piece of your wire that you cut out. Use that to re-poke the hole. Feed your pipe cleaner in its place. think the stuffing's coming out. So I'm going to use something just a little bit bigger to make that hole. I have an ice pick that I use. I think the stuffing's getting in my way. There it goes. Sometimes they hot glue those wires just a little bit. They don't move. Alright, so we're going to put our bottom on first. So I've already marked the top of my wreath by putting my wreath hanger on so I know where the bottom is. And this is where this little handy dandy tool comes in that I told you about. The darning needle. And this is used to yarn needle. Alright, so what I'm going to do is the bottom of my attachment, I'm going to use these holes right here for the bottom, and then these holes right here for the top. So these two down here, and then these two right there. Now, I'm not going to pull this down too far because I don't want it to sink into my wreath, and it's lightweight, so it's really not going to sink at all. It's going to kind of float on top. But I also want to make sure that when I'm pulling down on this, that I don't pull down too much that it tilts. So what I'm going to do is on this first pipe cleaner, I'm going to kind of give it a little, just a little gentle, hold it in place about where it's going to sit in the wreath, and then I'm going to tighten the pipe cleaner down. Yeah, I'm going to push it down just a little bit, not much. Tighten my pipe cleaner. Love using the large boards for wreath attachment. I would never use another frame anymore because with all the different holes and choices of places to put things on wreaths, I don't struggle anymore trying to get my wreath attachments exactly where I want them. Okay, so we're going to kind of layer this up. Next thing we're going to put on is the bow. The reason we're going to put the bow on next is we want it to be very close to the body, like so. All right, we're going to use this to kind of cover the body. And to do this, we're going to use 2 pipe cleaners, one down here and one at the top. And that's just to so the bow will set nice. In the wreath and not tilt, because I don't want it to tilt around. I don't want it to tilt up. Okay. So this was the top. So we know that this is the top of our snowman. So I imagine I'll be using these 2 holes right here to put my bow in. I am correct. I'm kind of pulling that in pretty tight, but I don't want it to sink down to the mesh. I don't want it to flatten my mesh out, and I don't want to flatten the snowman out either. So to make sure my bow doesn't sink, we use these 2 holes right here. So we'll use these 2 holes right here. Get the top pipe cleaners. No, we won't. We're going to go up above those. We'll be using these 2 holes right here to get the top of the bow. Now, if you don't have a big bow like I have, make one. I make these big bows, and this is one I had left, and it looked so cute and perfect. And I laid it across there. We can't always find the right sign. That's where bows come in handy. All right. So next up, we're going to put the snowman's head. Where I said we're going to kind of layer this up. That's what we're doing. Want all the pieces to fit. Now, if the snowman's head sits a little bit too low in the wreath, that's okay. That's going to be fine. But once again, we're going to have to take these wires out. They just don't work that well, folks, to put in wreaths. So I'm going to leave the wire in. We're going to try something, see if that'll help get the pipe cleaner in, and it did. So just leave the wire in, chase your pipe cleaner in first. And then cut the wire out. Now, if you're afraid that the pipe cleaner is going to rip, just dab a little hot glue. All right. Now, we don't really need two ties for the head. We just need one. So I'm going to cut those. And I'm going to make my own hole. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here below the scarf. And I'm going to give a good pinch to the material to get a lot of material. I'm going to make my own hole. Ouch. And when I do that, I hold the pinch. So I can chase my pipe cleaner back through. So we want the head to sit really close to the bow. So I'm going to use these holes that I put my bow in first. See how cute that is? And what I'm doing every time to keep the back of my board clean, I'm taking my pipe cleaners and I'm just tucking them right back up into the board. All right, so the head, it's going to sit pretty high. I think we need to move the pipe cleaner, my friends. I don't like the way that... I like how high it sits, but I don't like where the pipe cleaner is at. Oh, wait, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Because it's so lightweight, I'll just lightly pull on it. It'll be fine. All right. So I kind of pulled back up on my pipe cleaner to make sure I didn't want him to sink down into the wreath. And for that one, I use the very top. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, and I'm not sure that I'm going to use the arms. I'm just not sure yet. Okay? Sometimes I don't use everything, and that's okay. All right, so instead of ribbon, we're going to use flex tube to cutesy up our wreath. We're going to use, I've got a black and white stripe. It's called jute tubing, and a sparkle red, and it's also jute tubing. And we're going to take 2 pieces, one of each, and you're going to take to your ends and bring them together, like so, and make it like a bow. And we're going to go around the outside. I cut my jute tubing 24 inches long, and when you cut your jute tubing, you want to be careful. And what I do, I cut mine, is I take this, don't pull, and I set this down at my starting point at 0, and then I just let it lay there, and then I cut it. Okay? You don't pull on jute tubing, see, it grows. Don't ever pull on it. You just kind of want to lay it there. And I don't worry about it if it's straight. It is 24 inches, and then I cut it. So once again, bring your 2 ends together, let them meet in the center. You're going to make a bow, tie it in. Now for those of you that do zip ties, you could probably put your mesh and your tubing in all at one time. He's so cute with his big bow. I like the stripe and the whimsical look that it gives. All right, so now I thought we needed some like icicle looking pieces. Kind of give it more of a snowy look as well. So that's where this pick comes in that I got at Hobby Lobby. And we're going to take and we're going to cram that in the mesh, but we're going to go between. So here is your pipe cleaner for your flex tube. Here's the other one. We're going to go between the two. and we're going to hot glue that in. Like so. This is one of my favorite winter picks from Hobby Lobby. On that pick, there's like there's three stems that you'll cut off. So you'll need 3 stems for this project. And I'm kind of going under the mesh to poke in there so it has something to grip onto. Now, if you like nice and simple after you do this, I think the wreath looks cute as can be, and you don't really have to go any further. So if you are on team less is more, but if y'all have been following me for a while, you're going to know that I am the more the better. Okay. All right. So next up, we have some snowflakes. And we're just going to rip those off. As you can see, they rip off really, really easy. And we're going to cut this stem down just a little bit. And we're going to place them at an angle, okay? So here's our wreath, and it's called the triangle effect. And the triangle effect is what keeps your wreath looking round. So we're going to place one. And then the other one up here at an angle, across from it. Like so. And then we're going to place the other one over here. All right, don't worry. We have more elements because right now it looks just a little bit odd. Okay, and the reason it looks a little bit odd is because typically we have a bow down here and you would be able to see the shape better. But since we don't, it looks just a little bit odd at the moment. These are ultra lightweight, so we're just going to hot glue them in. And I'm always making sure that I'm poking these into my mesh. All right, so our next element that we're going to use is ornament balls. All right, and we're just going to use our pipe cleaners to put these on. So what we're going to do is we're going to start across from this snowflake. And you just put that down on your pipe cleaner. And then twist it on. And then with the triangle effect, we're going to put one ornament ball here and one up here. Now see how cute that looks? All right, the last thing I'm going to do, I've been have these sitting around. I've had these left over from another project for a while now. So we're going to finally use them. Because they look like snowballs. At them. My snow. Had them in a bin. They sit on my work table. I missed it. Oh, there they went. About that, yo. They are. So I've had those left over for a while now from another project. So we're going to use those. All right. And once again, we want to make sure that we keep our triangle going. So we're going to go one up there. And one here. And we'll put the other one right there. And that is going to pleasantly finish filling out our wreath without using any ribbon. Look how super cute and easy that was, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this wreath. I thought it was a lot of fun. If you get one of these 5-piece sets and you want to use the arms, that's awesome. I just don't want to. I don't feel like they're needed. So I'm not going to use them. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Bye, y'all.